Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everyone. Pleased to have an audience. I've been at the end of conferences and with a smaller audience, and have done my presentation at the Qantas Club, where most of the participants are. So it's great to have you here. Look, I just want to put a bit of context. I am a lecturer, teacher, a researcher in the College of Ed at Vic Uni, and I work with both undergrad and postgraduate students. I supervise masters and doctoral students, and I do a number of other duties as assigned. That's the small print in the contract, at the bottom of the contract. Look, I was excited on behalf of Victoria University when we were invited in August of 2014 to become an institutional research partner in this project. It was an exciting opportunity. And then hosting one of the first student engagement breakfasts at Vic Uni on March 2015 of last year was also an exciting opportunity to meet with approximately 30 postgraduate students from universities across Melbourne. The free breakfast was clearly an incentive for our postgraduate students to attend, as was the opportunity for both themselves and us to learn, listen and share about their experiences. I just want to make a point that the omelette on rye with smoked salmon was particularly good that morning. Okay, so look, as part of this research project, I've been developing a literature review related to postgraduate student experience, and in particular, what do we already know about the postgraduate experience that we hope to use in some upcoming publications. And I'd like to briefly share with you some of the most relevant elements from this review. We know new postgraduate students. We know that postgraduate student enrolments have increased over the past 5 years, and there has been significant increase in the diversity of these students, both at the undergrad and postgraduate levels, and the experiences that they bring. For example, there's been an increase in students who are first in family to study in tertiary education at universities. There's an increase in those who come from homes where English is not necessarily their first language, students with disabilities, and those students who are coming from rural and remote locations. The implications, this increased diversity of students has increased, I think, the challenges for academic staff in meeting these postgraduate student needs. As the backgrounds of higher education students continue to change, institutions need to respond. And this has led to an increased casualisation of staff in universities. International postgraduate students. Research on international student expectations and learning styles has highlighted a potential mismatch with regard to academic teachers' capacities to respond. For example, assumptions that international students are well prepared for postgraduate studies is not always true. While many have strong knowledge in digital technologies, some find difficulty in the application of those technological skills to enhance and engage in their learning, particularly via some of the learning management systems that has just been mentioned. Postgraduate student-staff interactions. There is strong evidence of links between student-staff interaction and student educational outcomes and success. This is also true in relation to student-student interactions. Therefore, there is a need, particularly within the increased numbers of postgraduate students accessing degrees via online or distance education modes, to develop online learning communities that facilitate the interaction between students and staff and students themselves. Postgraduate isolation and loneliness. For some students, and international students in particular, student isolation and loneliness can have a significant impact on student success in their studies. This isolation typically occurs in the first months of enrolment. It can occur due to lack of family contact, loss of networks, separation from preferred cultures and/or linguistic environments. It should be noted that postgraduate students' maturity and previous undergraduates' experience has typically better prepared them to cope with this initial isolation. Postgraduate higher order thinking and memorisation. In relation to postgraduate learning, researchers indicated that Australian academics place much less emphasis on memorisation and considerably more on other forms of thinking. Now, interestingly, and Ali talked about it earlier today, while only 20% of academics reported the use of memorisation in some of their work, 60% of their students indicated that there was an emphasis in this low order skill. So this apparent ambiguity of distinct differences of perception has the potential to impede universities in supporting their students. University interventions. Seeking feedback and recognising the student voice in postgraduate learning has led to the recognition that students' feedback and perceptions about their learning is essential in determining what support needs to be provided for them. It has led to the formation of international student organisations, for example, that are focused on building important student networks. It is accepted that universities interested in postgraduate student retention and high completion rates need to be proactive in facilitating opportunities for international and domestic students to build relationships. Research highlights the potential of increasing cross-cultural engagement based on the sharing and mutual respect in common learning areas. Some universities are employing postgraduate students on campus and are supporting their engagement in community sporting clubs, services and religious institutions. Finally, employment post-graduation. Many postgraduate students seek enhanced career advancement and employment opportunities after graduation via networking opportunities, either with alumni, potential employers, or relevant work placements. Other researchers investigated the potential increased earning capacity post-graduation when compared with the time and associated cost of pursuing postgraduate studies. For example, not all professions offer salary increments based on postgraduate studies. For many international students, however, a 4-year degree is no longer considered sufficient for employment in a very competitive profession and industries. So there is obviously more to learn about postgraduate students' experiences, and I look forward to collaborating with many of you in this important work. Thank you.